G'day, I'm Alan here, Love Engineer, and just wanted to do a quick live talking about parents and children and what you can do when both parents have a lot of disagreements. So, first off, ultimately it comes down to communication. And when you feel that tension rise and both sides start coming from a place of I'm right, they're wrong, it never really does anyone any favors. So just take a step back and ask the question, do I want to be right or do I want to come from a place of love? And this can happen also when parents have separated. All too often, we say, oh, I'm going to do everything I can for the children. Put the children first, which is great. Though sometimes that can build up a lot of tension between both parents, because it's like saying, my children are more important than you. Where really, if we want to do what's best for our children, the answer is to wear it as much as possible. Now, I appreciate that in some situations that's not always possible. To get to a place of peace where we can communicate what will work better for the children, whether you're together or not. There's a lot of the time we stay together for the children while we're at each other's throats until the kids are 18 and grown up and left home. But what about the children? What do they see? They see mum and dad fighting. They see Disney movies and things that are talking about couples living happily ever after and marrying for love, which they assume that mummy and daddy did. And they probably did. But then the child sometimes creates that story in their mind that mum and dad were happy before I came along. And that is a difficult one for the child to deal with. And a lot of the time, the parents don't realize it. So the best way, as much as possible, is to communicate between both parents from a place of love, not blaming each other, understanding that both sides play a part in a relationship, working or breaking down. And when we come from that place, it is a lot easier to build a strong foundation for raising a child. Now, that's great. But what happens when both sides, no matter what they do, just still cannot find that peace? Sometimes we need to get a third party involved that's not sided to one side or the other. What that means is someone that's not your family, not their family, not your friends, not their friends, someone that is completely impartial. Not necessarily as a referee as such, but sometimes it can help bring a different perspective onto that. And or it's one person, Sarah says. I'm not quite sure what that's referring to. Whether it's as a single parent, then that brings challenges of its own as well. Because then you have to do your best to play mum and dad, which is not easy. And it's not easy to play both roles, because as much as I understand women, more than a lot of guys maybe, I am not a woman. I can't tell my son how a woman is going to feel, or a girl is going to feel when he's dating and when she's older, or when he's older. I can guide my daughter a little bit better, but at the same time, I can't relate to her when it comes to things like puberty or anything like that. So it's always useful to have other people that you can include in the situation, not necessarily as a lover. If they do, that's great. But at the same time, they still need healthy role models. Maybe it's a granddad, maybe it's a grandma, maybe it's an auntie, maybe it's an uncle, maybe it's just a close friend. It's all okay. There's that old saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and it does. Although that seems to be forgotten a little bit these days, as we want to do it all ourselves, and that just puts a heck of a lot of pressure onto everybody. So why not let other people help? So that's all I'm going to say right now. I can't actually see all the comments without my glasses, but sometimes it's not both parents, it's one. Sarah says, yes, it certainly can feel that way. And I've certainly experienced that with my kid's mother. And I cannot control what she does, how she shows up, what she says, what she doesn't say. I can, however, choose how I respond. If she's coming from a place of, I want to fight, then I have the choice. Do I engage in that fight? Or do I talk civilly? And if it goes too far, take a time out and come back when we can talk in a much better way, when we're more centered and more grounded. So there we go. That's a little quick live for today. And I'll be back next week or tomorrow or over the, and I will respond to them as soon as I see them. Bye for now.